very good evening, Zimbabwe. Welcome to LiveTalk. We're coming to you live from Studio 7 at the Voice of America in Washington this Monday, December the 19th, 2022. I'm your host, Marvelous Mhlanga Nyahuye. Tonight on LiveTalk, we're looking at the just ended FIFA World Cup 2022 in Qatar, which ended yesterday. We have a new cup winner. Argentina scooped the coveted World Cup after battling it out with defending champions France in a penalty shootout, after the match ended in a 3-3 draw. Nasi tiri kutarisa zvakabuda kumakwikwi eFIFA World Cup 22 akapera kuQatar nezuro. Chikwata cheArgentina chakasimudza mukombe wegore rino mushure mekunge chadya chikwata chekuFrance mumapena. Mutambo uyu wakange wapera uri mangange 3-3. Mutori wedu wenhau Michael Kariati akaita hurukuro navaSam Hama Ndawana avo vaimbova mubati wepembe mugumbano rePremier Soccer League vanoti nhabvu yemazuva ano yakasiyana nekare. Regai tinzwe kuti vari kuti chii.
Nokudaro tinovimba kuti vanhu vese vakunzwisisa mutambo uyu zvokuti vaitembuka kare kuti ndo vanohwina hazvasirivo vakutarisirwa kuhwina.
Michael also spoke to Shepard Saizi, the former goalkeeper for Kambuzuma United. Let's hear what he had to say.
Zvakatifadza kuti mesatira mukombe World Cup ndochinja ngakamira muupenyu hwake hwese career yake yese kuti atore World Cup zvese angaatora angandochinja akasara nacho kuti atore chocho saka zvakandifadza kuti complete padzose zvaakaita.
Sports analyst Advance Katapa urged other nations not to fear the big teams as the World Cup showed that in soccer all teams are equal. Let's hear what he said.
Zvinokurudzira dzimwe timu dzese nedzimwe nyika kuti aiwa hakuna chisingagoneki kumberi kunotoenda ende vatokurudzirwa kuti inogona kutoitorawo nhingi rinotika iyoyo.
This year, the World Cup also saw France's Kylian Mbappe winning the Golden Boot Award. The Golden Ball Award went to Lionel Messi. The FIFA Young Players Award went to Enzo Fernandez. And the Golden Glove Award went to Emiliano Martinez. Now, let's take a short break today. We're taking a break early because we would love to give time to our callers who have said they actually wanting to chime into what we're happening here. For those that have just joined our show, please note that we are streaming live this discussion on our Facebook pages, VOA Shona, VOA Studio 7, and VOA Ndebele. We're also live on YouTube, VOA Zimbabwe. You can also find us on our website, www.voandebele.com, www.voashona.com, and www.voazimbabwe.com. Send us your messages right now on all our social media platforms so you can also join into the conversation. And now we are joined via Skype by our VOA reporter, Sunday Shomari in Qatar. And I also understand we also have his producer who's sitting right next to him. Kali, let's welcome you to the program. Welcome all the way in Qatar. Tell us, what is the mood like now that the World Cup is over?
Yes, Marvelous. Right now, the city is coming slowly down to a different mood. As you know, last night, it was a very, very busy night. And the city has had a lot of people. Even the metro system. There was a lot going on last night. I mean, it was ecstatic after that game. And before the game, so many people showed up, went to the stadium, and the metro, at some point, you had to wait for 1 hour before you could get into the metro. And those who were in there, some of them couldn't even move. That's how crazy it was. They were not moving. It was kind of a little stampede going on, and then later on it subsided, but it was very, very tough to move along getting to the stadium. And it was not easy. But after the game, it was party, party, party. Argentina fans were just jumping all over the place, and they had a great, great time. And of course, as me and Kali were talking about, it was like a boxing match, pound for pound. You pump and they pump back.
Let's go. Let's give Kali a chance to give us his take. Walk us through the actual game. We were sitting at home like biting, our nails saying, okay, I hope it doesn't end in a penalty shootout. And that's exactly what happened. But take us through. You were there. You were seeing how the people were reacting. Take us through the actual match itself.
Yeah, as he was saying, it got tense at some point because there were so many people trying to get to the stadium, trying to get to LED giant screens where people were watching the game. So the city was overcrowded every single where you turn. As for the game itself, that same energy translated, as you know, Argentina seemed like they were running away with it. Then France came back through Mbappe, and it was really tense, and we could feel the tension, in and around the stadium as well. You could hear people just chanting, and every single action drew reactions. So it was quite intense until the final whistle. And we witnessed one of the greatest football games of all time. I think you would agree.
Yes, watching it from home, we were, ecstatic to see the actual action in Qatar. And coming back to you, Sunday, you spoke, Kali just spoke there about Mbappe. Some people are saying, look, this young man was able to turn the game in the second half. Take us through that moment.
Well, this World Cup, as I said before, Marvelous was having full of surprises. They were full of surprises since the first time we got here, when we saw Argentina falling to Saudi Arabia. And then we saw Netherlands doing something like that in 7 minutes. We remember they came back while playing Argentina. And then last night, it was not even 2 minutes, Marvelous. Those 2 goals were scored. So it has been a roller coaster seesaw whereby big teams face small teams, and things happen that small teams could fight back. You saw Australia giving Argentina a run for their money. I mean, it has been such a game that last night, one person I saw was crying, shedding tears down, saying he couldn't believe that Argentina was winning the game. And at the same time, another lady told me she died 3 times in the road.
Sunday, please.
It was something.
Wow. So, judging from what you're seeing happening, what's your takeaway, especially for the African teams? We saw Morocco coming in 4th, but what's your takeaway?
Well, I would say, like I said before, this World Cup will be the one to be remembered for a very long time. First of all, we won't see any city hosting a place or World Cup whereby you can go to 2 different games at one time. You could go to Lucille, or you could go to a different game in the same city, because everything was here indoor. Now we are going to 3 different countries, not even cities anymore. So this is the best World Cup that we have seen in terms of infrastructure. They tried a lot in the beginning before that breakdown of yesterday, but moving around was so easy with the metro, and history was in the making, that you saw a team scoring a hat-trick from Mbappe last night. This hasn't happened since 1966, Marvelous. And then the 18 team lost. Right.
Exactly. So what kind of pep talk do you think Mbappe got at halftime? Because they were struggling in the first half, the French team. But when he came back, he seemed fired up and literally just with a different kind of energy, and gave us the hat-trick. But what kind of pep talk do you think the coach gave Mbappe and the other team members of France?
Yeah, well, France really had a slow first half. Let me put it that way. You know, they took off Moussa Dembele. They took out Giroud as well. I think you have to give them, you have to be fair to them. They had a lot of illnesses in the squad. You know, I believe some of those players were down with a cold or something like that, because, you know, there's been a virus, you know, like we discussed. So once they took out those players who were kind of struggling a little bit, the team had a little more verve. They had some kind of energy, which, you know, Mbappe, that's all he needed. He needed a little bit more energy in the team, and he could drive them forward, which he did. And, you know, even though he scored those goals, like you were saying, it wasn't enough, but they came very close to winning the game, save for the goalie, Argentina goalkeeper's heroics.
Martinez, good goalkeeper, great goalkeeper.
You know, I think what killed them was that slow start in the beginning. I think if all their players were fully fit, it might have been a totally different game altogether. So in terms of your question, I think Mbappe was just doing what Mbappe does. He just needed the teammates to rise to the occasion. Once they did, it was the rest is history, as I say.
Thank you to my Skype guest over there. Let me now go over to Zimbabwe. We have a sports analyst in Zimbabwe. Koma Tandazani, tinokuchingamidzai nemufaro pano pachirongwa chedu.
Ndinotenda zvikuru masera sei.
Aiwa taswera. Tipewo maonero enyu emutambo wanezuro. Takazoona Argentina ichitora mukombe uyu mushure mekutamba neFrance, vatingati vaendiwo vanga vakabata mukombe uyu munguva yapfuura. Tipewo maonero enyu.
Inini maonero angu chikoro cheArgentina chakatamba zvinomwisa mvura zvikuru kusvikira 80 minutes. Pavakangoregera France ikamwisa chibodzwa chakamwisa kubva papenalty naMbappe, ndo chakazochinja mutambo wese, uye vatambi veFrance ndo pavakazowana gunya rekuti vawedzere simba ravo vakazogona kumwisa chechipiri. Vadaro ndotenda kuti mutambo waigona kuwinwa neFrance, nekuti ava vanga vashanda nesimba ravo rese kuchengetedza kutungamira kwavo nezvibodzwa zviviri. Saka pavakazomwiswa vanga vasina simba, ndosaka takazoona chikwata cheFrance chaakuratidza kuti chingangotora mukombe.
Motipawo neIsindebele zvamataura izvi, maonero enyu.
Iqembu le-Argentina lidlale okumnandi okwamagama kwaze kwafika isibanga se-80 minutes lapho iqembu le-France elenelise khona ukuthi lifohle igoli yabo yakuqala. Bathe sebefose igoli yakuqala umdlalo wase watshintsha, benelisa ukusohlela esibili. Ngiyabona ukuthi khona abe-Argentina amandla abo bekewasebenzise wonke ukuba balondoloze ukukhokhela kwabo ngamagoli amabili. Kodwa iFrance ithe isihlohlile, wahle kwaba sobala ukuthi i-Argentina amandla ebengasekho, njalo umdlalo ubungaqina usuthethwe ngabeFrance ngoba besebelegunya, besebeledlavuzane, njalo besebefuna. Kodwa ngithemba lokho abathi i-experience yikho ugcine kuncedisa ukuthi i-Argentina iphumelele, nokuthi i-Argentina balo Lionel Messi.
Aiwa, thank you so much. Please stay on the line. Let me just go back to my Skype guests who are in Qatar so that we can let them go, with the last round of questioning. Coming back to you, Sunday, what about players like Cristiano Ronaldo? What would they be remembered for during this Qatar World Cup?
Well, Ronaldo had his time. He will be remembered as the oldest player scoring, wasn't it? That day when he scored the goal in the first games. Yeah, in the group stage. But also, Ronaldo doesn't move without controversy.
What controversy has he stirred now?
And what we remember is the coach told us that what happens in the house stays in house.
Yes.
To clean their own place indoors, but it was known that he wasn't happy when he was substituted in that game. And then there was rumors that he was trying to go back home, but then later on he said that wasn't true. But for sure, he was not happy about the substitution. And then the coach showed us by saying, you will see my squad the next day on the following game against Ghana, was it?
I believe it was.
Yes. And then on that day, Ronaldo was benched. So we could see what the coach had done, changing his squad, giving that young man who scored a hat-trick, Ramos. Yeah.
Yes.
And those are the things we're going to see, the differences you can see between Ronaldo and Messi. This is what we're hearing all the time from Messi fans saying, we love Messi because he's a humble man. He doesn't have controversies. He's a leader of his team, and he has shown leadership. And that's what they need in this team. And everybody was urging to see Messi having this wonderful trophy back home. That's what. But for Messi, you know, and also the controversy that people talk every day between Ronaldo and Messi, I think this now has been put to rest. Who is the GOAT?
Yes, I was going to ask that question. So who do we call would be the, GOAT, the greatest player of all times? When we look at all this controversy that's going on. Maybe you can go to Kali and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, to his point, I think people are a bit unfair to Cristiano Ronaldo. Why is it different for Ronaldo? Why do people want Messi to win? And if Ronaldo wants to win, they think he's being selfish. But everything that happened around the Argentina team revolved around Messi. It seemed like the team wanted Messi to win. Why is Ronaldo's case different? So I just think that it's people can talk about Ronaldo being selfish or Messi being selfless all day long, but this is what the sport is about. The greatest sportsmen drive themselves. They come to training first, leave last. Those are all the hallmarks that Cristiano Ronaldo embody. Sure, if he thinks highly of himself, that's okay. Some sportsmen are driven by such characteristics. So for me, I just think, it's a situation where in life, in the drama of life, it's like be a villain and there has to be a good guy, right? So people at this point in time have decided Messi is the good guy and Ronaldo is the villain, and this is just the way their story is ending, unfortunately.
So Sunday, to sum it up, and then we let you go. Where to next? Do you think, were there any breakaway players that showed up and showed out?
Oh yeah, lots of breakaway players. We show Mohamed Kudus from Ghana. Oh my God, this young man is going to be a big superstar for sure.
From Morocco.
And Morocco's team.
The Queen from France named their team of the tournament, and several Morocco players were on that team.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and I know several Morocco players are being looked at. There's bidding wars for them right now. Several teams want them.
You've heard of Amrabat?
So you think this was a playing ground for other teams being picked up, other players being picked up by big teams?
Absolutely. This is the showcase place. You go here, you show what you got, another team coming for you, and also your price goes up.
Yes.
Some of the players are not getting time in their clubs. Now, when they go back, it's going to be a different story.
Thank you so much. And where is the next World Cup going to be held?
USA.
USA,
America.
Mexico, Canada. So I hope you're ready, Marvelous, for this one.
Thank you so much. We had there our VOA reporter, Sunday Shomari and Kali from Qatar, who are getting ready to come back home after giving us a blow-by-blow of what was going on in Qatar at the FIFA World Cup. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Tiri kunzwa kuti tine mumwe munyarekani wedu mai Lucy Ndongwe Chikoero avo vanowanikwa ivo vachifarira chikwata cheFrance regai tinzwe kwavari. Tokuchingamidza ine mufaro pano pachirongwa chedu.
Ndinotenda sismazikadeni.
Aiwa, tiri wadi. Mungatitsanangura kuti imi makaona sei zvakabuda izvi pamutambo wanezuro France versus Argentina?
Chokutanga ukorokotedza France Argentina nekuwina. Mutambo wanezuro wainakidza uye wairwadza. Chekutanga with Argentina takaona vakatanga kutamba zvakasimba in the first 40 minutes. Munova makagoeswa zvibodzwa zvavo zviviri. France yanga iri kuita kutotevera bhora. Asi pakazoitwa masubstitutions akaitika aya, ndo pakawanikwa France yakutanga kuita crawl back vachitamba mutambo wavo sematambiro atinovaziva vachiita. Kozoita wakuzonopera mutambo takaona chikomana chedu ichi chidiki ichi Mbappe. Vanhu vari kuti the goat ndevamwe vese, asi isu kwatiri goat ndiKylian Mbappe. Mwana akatamba bhora, haizi nyore kugohwesa 4 goals muWorld Cup finals, of which 3 dziri in the first 90 and also extra time. So ipapapo I think he is rewriting history. Saka aiwa mwana akatamba zvinofadza chose.
Aiwa, bate zvenyu makadaro. Tandazani, if you can come in and just speak to us in Ndebele that this argument about the GOAT, from your perspective, who is the GOAT after this tournament?
I think ngokubona kwami ngibona ngani ukuphikisana ngokubana onguye umdlali ongcono ukudlula bonke umhlaba wonke ngobani. Ngalokho kwenzakala ku-World Cup ngibona ngani uMessi uqede impikisano leyo. Ngami ngoba khipha uMessi ku-Argentina, angikholwa ukuthi i-Argentina ingathola isicoco esiqakathekileyo kwezomdlalo wenguqu phansi. Ngakho-ke uMessi utshengisele ngokuncedisa iqembu lakhe le-Argentina, utshengisele ukubana lokho akwenzileyo iminyaka yonke edluleyo yikho kuliqiniso ukubana nguye umdlali okwesikhathi leso sikiso, nguye umdlali ongcono kulabanye bonke. Kulokuphikisana njalo ukubana ijaha uKylian Mbappe mhlawumbe ngese singambona enjalo. uKylian Mbappe usakhula njalo lijaha elikhangelele ukuthi sisiya phambili engathatha leso sicoco, kodwa kusaselokuningi okungafundwa njalo akakafiki ekutheni sesingamlinganisa lalokho kwenziwe ngabo Ronaldo ngabo Messi. Mhlawumbe kuzakudlula kodwa akakafiki khonapho.
Please stay on the line. I have a live caller, Ian, ari kuZimbabwe. Live caller wedu ari kuZimbabwe. Nasitati tuda kupamukana kuma callers kuti vawani kuva chipinda mchirongwa. Halo mkoma Ian, makadi yenyu? Aiwa, takasimba taurai tinzwe. Makaona sei makwikwi atiri kutaura nemi muri kupi?
Mukutaura nemi ndiri kuHarare, ndogara kukwadzana 5.
Kwakadii kukuwadzana uko?
Kwadzana kuri nani hako, nhasi kwamboti naye hako masikati bari hakuri raiti.
Taurai tinzwe.
Nyika mutambo wanezuro ndaisapota zvangu France. Ndakanzenge ndiri munhangaura muri pafesi apapo timu yanga yadudwa nechine 2-0 paya. But pasecond half ndakazofarira Kylian Mbappe madzokera akaita mugame achitidzosawo tizoita chitutu zvakati pahupu kusvika tizowana added time. Inini chakaita hangu nenyaya yekufamba neFrance, ndakangofarira hangu vanhu vatema nenyaya yekuti blacks represent as Africans well at the highest stage of the game.
Mashoko akanaka chaiwoiwa, tinokutendai. Saka imi munoti GOAT ndiani apa, greatest player of all time?
Zvinovata azokuadimita, asi Lionel Messi ndiye the greatest player of all time because of my achievements. Even career yake inongotaura yega, hakuna munhu angakwanisa kunge achimenshani marekodzi anawo.
Kunyaya yemagetsi haina kunetsa here pakuona nhabvu idzi, nokuti tikuona vamwe vanga vari kuchema-chema nenyaya yemagetsi?
Kunokwadzana nedzimwewo nzvimbo ndakanzwa kuti nezuro isi haana kunzi raenda, even nanhasi haana kunzi raenda. Saka munhu wese kuno kwandiri akafara because hapana akatadzwa kuona bhora nekuda kwemagetsi.
aiwa tinotenda chaizvo mukoma Ian. Tinokutendai manga muri pachirongwa chedu. Regai tidzokere kuna Tandazani Zimbabwe. Tandazani, so this argument about the GOAT, from your observation, who do you think is the greatest player of all times?
Personally, without doubt, I think Lionel Messi during our lifetime has been the greatest. So look at his achievements. As of yesterday, he has now won almost everything that is important in his playing career. So without doubt, I have always said that the difference between Messi and other players is that he is so unique to the things that he does on the pitch. Only he can do. Others are good. They are reliable. They have a very high level of efficiency. But in terms of unique, Messi does things that only he can do. And by that, added to the achievements, he becomes the greatest player of his time, especially with yesterday's World Cup.
Thank you so much. There we are hearing from Tandazani Zimbabwe, sports analyst. Asirega ititore mukana uno kuti timbotenda pane vanyori vatati vatipe nhamba dzavo. Tukona pana mukoma Morris Blessmo Ziyawega vati please ndibate musarege nhare dzenyu dziri kupinda. Dennis Chimwono, Ras Creed, Nashman Musora, Tinashe Muzhanje, tinokutendai mese imi mawanikwa imi muchinyora nhamba dzenyu. Asirega tidzokere kuna mai Lucy Ndongwe Chikore. Saka munoona remangwana rakamira sei panyaya iyi yeWorld Cup?
Inini ndinoona ramangwana rakanaka chaizvo nekuti munonyatsoziva kuti ndinokurudzira bhora zvikuru sei revana kunyanya kuvanasikana, asi ndichifarira futi revechirume saizvozvi. And kuzowanikwa tichiita 6 mareferees echidzimai kuWorld Cup, I think that was my highlight. Ndichikurudzira zvakanyanya nevanasikana vari kuAfrica kuti vatore marefereeing classes. I know kuti aveko marefu echidzimai kuZimbabwe, but ngavarambe vachikwiridzira dzidzo yavo munyaya dzekurefura bhora idzodzidzi, nekuti taakuwanikwa the ceiling yakatobrekwa kare. So we want more vechidzimai vachazenge vachihendla kunyangwe nema-high level games akaita semafinals acho. But takaona paine mudzimai mumwe chete akanga among pakati pe5 vakanga varipo this time, but we want at least kuti tinge tine manhamba akati one day. Saka ndo chekutanga. Chechipiri ndicho chekuti pana Mbappe, ndanzwa vamwe vachiti hanzi zvona ngatitarise Messi the achievements that he has done. Yes, tiri kuconsider kuti Messi akasvika ave kuma-35 years, Mbappe is 10 years. Achine 10 years to make up for all that. And already zvaachievha at 24, Messi angasati asvika ipapo. Saka Mbappe is the greatest of all time.
Achirege ndikubate ipapo. Thank you so much kuna amai Lucy Ndongwe Chikoero vanga vari kutaurawo pfungwa dzavo. Let's give now the last word to our sports analyst Tandazani Zimbabwe. Motipa mazwi ekupedzisira ekungoti saka munoona remangwana reWorld Cup rakamira sei?
Ndotenda nezvatakaona nezuro nezvataona pamutambo weWorld Cup 2022 ndotenda zvichanakidza, uye muchaona kuti pane zvikwata zvakaita sana Japan, ivo vana Morocco vanga vasingafungidzirwi kuti vangadya vana Germany, vana Spain nana Belgium, asi zvakaratidza kuti mutambo wenhabvu iye zvino hazvisina basa nekuti zita rako riani, ukasatamba unogona kudyiwa nezvimwe zvikwata zvisina mazita makuru. Uye mutambo uri kuchinja, tichaona kuti panga pachiiswa ma-substitution.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we do not have any extra time like what we saw at the FIFA World Cup, where the extra time would range from 3 to 10 minutes. Unfortunately, here time is not on our side. That brings us to the end of our show. We'd like to thank our guests and you, our listeners. I'm Marvelous Mhlanga-Nyahuye, saying have a very good week. Let's meet again sometime this week. Have a very good night, Zimbabwe.